The Engineered Evolution. Chapter 1. The Sterile Halls. The sterile white walls of the Senate chamber were the only constant in Anya Sharma's world. Every polished surface reflected the stark reality of the situation. Humanity was on trial. Across the vast, mirrored table sat the Galactic Council, a kaleidoscope of alien dignitaries, their forms shimmering under the holographic translators. Anya, a lone human amongst the swirling nebulae of exotic biology, felt a cold sweat prickle her skin. "Dr. Sharma," rasped the lead council member, a spindly insectoid being with carapace, the color of polished obsidian. Its voice, electronically warped for human ears, echoed within the chamber. "The council appreciates your candor in regards to the current population crisis." Anya swallowed the lump in her throat. "Candor," she repeated, voice steady despite the tremor in her hands, "is the only weapon we have left. Our birth rates are unsustainable. We face a future of crippling resource scarcity and societal collapse." A guttural rumble emanated from a hulking reptilian figure across the table. "And what solution do you propose, Doctor?" it boomed. "Planned population control," Anya stated, her gaze locked on the reptilian's glowing red eyes. "A humane approach. Education, incentivized sterilization." A wave of his massive claw silenced her. "Such measures are insufficient," it rumbled. "You humans are a virus. Unchecked, you will consume everything." The chamber buzzed with murmurs of agreement. Anya clenched her fists, her nails digging into her palms. Her life's work, advocating for peaceful solutions, seemed to crumble before her eyes. Years of research, endless data simulations, all swept aside with the dismissive wave of a reptilian claw. A flicker of movement caught Anya's eye. A slender avian being perched at the far end of the table, its iridescent feathers gleaming faintly. It cocked its head, its sharp black eyes observing her with an unsettling intensity. Unlike the others, it remained silent. A bead of sweat trickled down Anya's temple. This was it. The verdict. Decades of human history boiled down to this single moment. "There is another option," the avian being finally spoke. Its voice, high-pitched and melodious, seemed to pierce the tension in the chamber. All eyes turned towards it. Anya's breath hitched. Hope, a fragile ember, flickered within her. But the council member from before, the insectoid, scoffed. "Enlighten us, Ambassador Xylo." Xylo unfolded its wings, a shower of iridescent feathers cascading down. "Exile," it chirped. "A remote world quarantined with a time dilation field. A fresh start for your species, under controlled conditions." Anya's mind reeled. Exile? To some uncharted corner of the galaxy? It was a desperate gamble, a leap into the unknown. But compared to the alternative, the insectoid council member clicked its mandibles. "An interesting proposition. The council will deliberate." Anya rose from her chair, her legs wobbling slightly. This wasn't a victory, but it wasn't defeat either. It was a chance, however slim. As she turned to leave the sterile chamber, she met Xylo's gaze for a fleeting moment. A flicker of something, perhaps empathy, passed between them before the avian being looked away. Stepping out into the bustling corridors of the Senate building, Anya was met with a cacophony of noise. The anxious chatter of human delegates, the whirring of alien technology. A wave of nausea washed over her. This was their future? An uncertain exile on a desolate planet? But then a spark of defiance ignited within her. Humans were survivors. They had always adapted, and this time they would adapt not just to survive, but to thrive. Anya squared her shoulders, a newfound determination hardening her gaze. This wasn't the end, it was a new beginning. A beginning she would see them through. Chapter 2, A Pale Sun and Dust. The stench of stale sweat and recycled air filled the cramped cabin as Anya shuffled through the rows of despondent faces. Weeks had passed since the council's decision. Weeks of frantic preparations, tearful goodbyes, and the gnawing uncertainty of what awaited them on the other side of the jump gate. Anya stopped beside a young woman cradling a whimpering child. The girl's eyes, red-rimmed and hollow, mirrored the collective despair hanging thick in the air. Anya knelt beside her, offering a tired smile. "Hey there, little one. What's your name? The girl flinched, burying her face further into her mother's threadbare shawl. It's okay, Anya murmured, her voice gentle. My name's Anya. What are you scared of? The girl peeked out, a tear shimmering on her cheek. The new planet. Will there be monsters? Anya chuckled softly. No monsters, I promise. Just a new home. Looking out the small porthole, she saw only the swirling, inky blackness of hyperspace. A new home indeed. Except, what did that even mean anymore? Suddenly, a jolt tore through the ship, throwing everyone off balance. Alarms blared, red lights strobing chaotically. Panic erupted in the cabin, people scrambling for non-existent exits. Anya lunged for the intercom system. Attention, everyone. This is Dr. Sharma. Please remain calm. We are experiencing a minor hull breach. The situation is under control. Despite her best efforts, her voice trembled. The announcement did little to quell the rising panic. A man, his face contorted with fear, grabbed Anya's arm. What's happening? Are we going to die? Anya took a deep breath, forcing her voice into a steely calm. No, the engineering team is already working on repairs. We will be fine. As much as she wanted to believe her own words, a sliver of doubt gnawed at her. Exile seemed a preferable fate compared to getting vaporized in the vast emptiness of space. After what felt like an eternity, the alarms finally ceased. The red lights dimmed, replaced by the dim glow of emergency lighting. A collective sigh of relief rippled through the cabin. Anya made her way to the cockpit, the metallic tang of fear still clinging to her tongue. The pilot, a grizzled veteran named Captain Tanaka, greeted her with a weary smile. Just a meteor shower, Doc. We took a bit of a hit, but nothing major. Anya let out a shaky breath. Thank goodness. For a moment there, Tanaka patted her shoulder, his calloused hand surprisingly comforting. We've faced worse, Doc. Trust me. He gestured towards the viewport. Look. Anya peered through the viewport. The swirling blackness had given way to a sight that stole her breath. A pale orange sun, dwarfed by the inky canvas of space, cast an ethereal glow upon a dusty crimson planet. Home. Anya felt a surge of emotions, trepidation, curiosity, and a flicker of something that felt suspiciously like hope. This desolate world, bathed in an alien sun, was now their fate. But as she looked around at the weary faces staring out at the new horizon, a newfound resolve hardened within her. They would survive, they would adapt, and maybe, just maybe, they would thrive on this strange new world. Chapter 3. Whispers of Change. 10 years. A decade had passed since they crash-landed on Kepler 186f, the crimson dust clinging to their boots, a constant reminder of their exile. 10 years of harsh lessons learned, of ingenuity tested, and of a silent struggle for survival. Anya stood on a rocky outcrop overlooking the sprawling settlement they'd christened New Dawn. Gone were the cramped ship modules and recycled air of their initial makeshift camp. In their place stood sturdy, prefabricated structures, testaments to human resilience. Wind, dry and hot, whipped at Anya's hair as she surveyed the scene. Below, a group of children, their laughter bright and carefree, chased each other around a makeshift field. A stark contrast to the fear-filled faces that greeted her on arrival. Anya allowed a small smile to grace her lips. It wasn't easy. The unforgiving environment, the constant struggle for resources had taken a toll. But humanity had adapted. Dr. Sharma? Anya turned to see Dr. Chen, a young biologist with boundless enthusiasm, approaching her. His face, tanned and weathered, held a spark of excitement. Found something interesting on the eastern ridge, he said, his voice tinged with breathless urgency. New plant life. Doesn't seem to fit any known earthly classification. Anya's eyebrows shot up. 10 years of meticulously cataloging flora and fauna had yielded little in terms of edible or useful resources. Really? Let's see. They descended the rocky outcrop, following a network of well-worn paths carved into the reddish soil. The air was thick with the scent of unfamiliar plants, some with needle-like leaves, others with bioluminescent flowers that pulsated faintly in the dim sunlight. Reaching the eastern ridge, Anya's breath caught in her throat. There, nestled amidst the dust-covered rocks, bloomed an array of vibrant purple flowers, unlike anything she'd ever seen. Their petals shimmered with a faint luminescence, and a delicate, sweet fragrance filled the air. "They seem almost artificial," Chen murmured, crouching to examine one of the flowers closely. "No visible reproductive organs. Could they be bioengineered?" Anya knelt beside him, her mind racing. Bioengineered? On a desolate planet? The implications were staggering. Could there have been an advanced civilization here before them? "We need to analyze these back at the lab," she said, her voice betraying a tremor of excitement. "This could be a game changer." The discovery of the bioluminescent flowers marked a turning point. The analysis revealed a complex genetic structure far beyond anything found on Earth. These weren't simply plants, they were self-sustaining energy sources, capable of converting sunlight into a potent biofuel. With this breakthrough, a sense of possibility crackled through New Dawn. The harshness of Kepler 186f was no longer just a challenge, but an opportunity. They could build, expand, and perhaps even terraform this unforgiving world. But as Anya surveyed the growing settlement, a flicker of unease stirred within her. Their rapid advancement, fueled by the bioluminescent flora, was unprecedented. They were no longer the fragile humans who'd crash-landed 10 years ago. They were stronger, smarter, evolving in ways she couldn't quite grasp. Anya stared out at the crimson horizon, a single question echoing in her mind. Was this progress, or were they becoming something else entirely? Chapter 4. Echoes from the Past. The sleek, metallic ship hummed with barely contained energy. Generations of human ingenuity and the power of the bioluminescent flora had culminated in this, the Phoenix, their first vessel capable of breaching the time dilation field surrounding Kepler 186f. Anya, now a seasoned leader with streaks of silver in her once dark hair, stood on the bridge, a knot of apprehension tightening in her gut. It had been 150 years since their exile. Generations had been born and died on Kepler 186f. Their children knew nothing of Earth, its lush greenery, and the vast, bustling galaxy beyond the crimson sky. Yet the yearning for their ancestral home, a yearning Anya herself carried, remained a potent undercurrent. "Captain Kim, are we ready for launch?" Her voice echoed through the bridge, a touch raspy with age. Captain Kim, a young woman with eyes as bright as the bioluminescent flowers, turned from her console. "Ready, Dr. Sharma. Just waiting for your final command." Anya took a deep breath, the weight of responsibility settling heavily on her shoulders. This wasn't just a journey, it was a gamble. They were venturing back into the unknown, facing a galaxy that had undoubtedly changed in their absence. Would they be welcomed as prodigal sons or ostracized as a potential threat? "Engage the time dilation field bypass," she finally said, her voice firm. A wave of energy surged through the ship. Alarms blared momentarily before silencing. Captain Kim's voice filled the bridge, tinged with awe. "Time dilation field breached. We're home, Doctor." Home. The word echoed in Anya's mind, a hollow sound. The journey through the time dilation field had been instantaneous, yet it felt like an eternity. Staring out at the swirling nebulae and the familiar constellations, a pang of longing struck her heart. Earth. Would it even be recognizable after all these years? As they emerged from hyperspace, a gasp escaped Anya's lips. A colossal space station, dwarfing anything they'd ever seen on Kepler 186f, dominated the system. It pulsed with a soft, white light, a beacon in the vast darkness. "What is that?" Captain Kim's voice crackled through the intercom, laced with awe and a hint of fear. Anya shook her head, a knot of unease forming in her stomach. This wasn't the Earth she remembered. This was something far grander, far more advanced. Had humanity spread throughout the galaxy in their absence? Or was this something else entirely? Just then, a booming voice filled the ship's communication channels. A voice electronically translated, yet strangely familiar. "Welcome home, children of Earth. We have been expecting you." Anya exchanged a hesitant glance with Captain Kim. Homecoming or a trap? The answer, shrouded in the mysteries of the colossal space station, hung heavy in the air. The journey, it seemed, was far from over. Chapter 5, A Legacy Unveiled. The docking process was a marvel of automated efficiency. The Phoenix nestled seamlessly into a designated port, on the colossal space station, dwarfing their ship with its sheer immensity. Anya, her heart pounding a frantic rhythm against her ribs, stood beside Captain Kim on the bridge, peering out at the alien landscape. The station shimmered with an otherworldly glow, its metallic surface etched with intricate patterns that seemed to writhe and pulse with an inner light. Anya felt a strange pull towards it, a sense of connection she couldn't explain. "Welcome aboard, descendants of Earth," the booming voice echoed through the communication channels once more. "We are the Ascended, guardians of this sector of the galaxy." Anya cleared her throat. "Thank you for receiving us, Ascended. We come in peace. We are—" She hesitated, the weight of their exile hanging heavy in the air. "We are the survivors of Kepler 186f. A beat of silence followed before the voice replied. "We are aware of your history, children. Your exile, your struggle, your evolution." The word hung in the air, heavy with implication. Anya's unease deepened. "Evolution?" Captain Kim echoed, her voice sharp with suspicion. "The bioluminescent flora of Kepler 186f has accelerated your development," the voice continued. "Your telepathic abilities, for instance, are a testament to this." Anya's breath hitched. Telepathic abilities? She hadn't realized. A flicker of an image, a shared thought with Captain Kim during the tense moments before launch. Could that be it? "We see your confusion," the voice said. "Do not be afraid. This is a gift, a consequence of your adaptation." Anya closed her eyes, overwhelmed by the sudden influx of information. Telepathy, accelerated evolution. The future they'd built on Kepler 186f seemed like a mere stepping stone on a far grander journey. "We invited you here," the voice continued, "not to punish you for the past, but to offer you a choice. Join us, Ascended, and share your unique perspective. Help us safeguard the galaxy." Anya opened her eyes, meeting Captain Kim's gaze. Unspoken questions hung in the air. Was this a chance at redemption, or a gilded cage? The Ascended offered a future beyond their wildest dreams. But at what cost? A steely resolve hardened in Anya's eyes. They had come too far, sacrificed too much, to simply surrender their newfound freedom. Taking a deep breath, she straightened her shoulders. "Thank you for your offer, Ascended," she said, her voice ringing clear and strong. "We are grateful for the knowledge you have shared. However, we wish to explore the galaxy on our own terms, to forge our own destiny." A long silence followed. Then the voice spoke once more, a hint of amusement in its tone. "A bold choice, descendants. But remember, the universe is a vast and dangerous place. May your journey be filled with wonder, and may your humanity always guide you." The metallic arms of the docking bay retracted, releasing the Phoenix from its hold. Anya and Captain Kim exchanged a look, a silent understanding passing between them. Their journey had taken an unexpected turn, but their spirit remained unbroken. They were no longer the fragile humans who had been exiled. They were the children of Kepler 186f, a testament to human resilience and the power of evolution. As the Phoenix pierced the inky blackness of space, a new chapter in their story began. The galaxy awaited, a vast canvas filled with possibilities, and humanity, forever changed, was ready to write its own destiny among the stars.